Hello and welcome back to episode 65 of the MotoGP 21 Career Mode. We are getting into the final few rounds. We are going in with a slender lead over Fabio Quartararo of 7 points. Now, in the picture it shows Phillip Island. We had a bit of a weird glitch again where the calendar shows that we've skipped this race, but we haven't. So we're actually off to Thailand. A track I do not like. I don't usually go well there. I believe the Suzuki will struggle there. So, yeah, I'm not really looking forward to this one. This one, I feel like I'll lose points. Definitely the Ducatis will be strong here. The Yamaha probably won't be as strong as it usually is, but it's still going to be a pretty good bike. So it's key that we get a good qualifying position so that we're thereabouts in the race, and tyre choice will be critical for this track. But anyway, enough rambling. Let's jump into qualifying. So we got through Q1 with a small bit of difficulty. It wasn't that easy. It took me 3 or 4 laps in the session. I really had to push it to get through, but I felt like the pace there. The last sector I'm pretty strong at, so I will be using that to my advantage on this lap. I waited till the end of the session to go out, let everyone set their times, and went out on a fully rubbered in track just to see would that make a bit of a difference. It's a pretty decent sector one. We were about a tenth and a half under. So we are looking quite strong at a track that isn't really favourable to me or the bike. But throughout the race I will feel that I will probably lose touch with the front guys. Big moment there on the entry to turn 5. You can see the rear let go, push the front a bit, but we're nearly half a second under, so we are on for a pretty good lap. And then we get this sector pretty good here. I don't really like this track at all. I feel like it hasn't any flow to it. It's a bit... I don't understand why I don't get on with it, but I just never liked it, unfortunately. And we lose half a second nearly in that sector. 4.5 tenths gone down the drain. We're just right as we come into sector 4. A small mistake there through turn 10, touching the curb, flat out across the curve for turn 11, and down into the final corner we come. This sector is by far our strongest. Nailing a nice apex, squaring it off up to the line. That should be pole. Yes, it is. So we are on the front row. Fabio's alongside us. We gone for medium. Soft front, medium rear was the recommended strategy, but we decided to go medium. I decided to look across the line for once just to see what the starts are like. I actually get a pretty good start, which is very unlike me. Down into turn 1 we come, and we actually take the lead. Whole shot is kept. That is very unusual. Usually into turn 1 I'm being sat up, and we get a nice lead out of turn 1. So we just need to put the head down now and get away. But as we come into turn 3, we make a big mistake. And you see Mir, and then we tuck the front there. We actually picked the bike up and braked so hard we lost the front. And that really scrubbed the front in on the right side there. We really took... That's a massive... That so easily could have been a crash. I remember the time he was just barreling towards me. I just picked up, and then he just touched the curb through there. We get out onto the outside curb, trying to just take as much corner speed through that sector as possible. So at the moment it's looking pretty good for me. In P2 behind another Suzuki. I should be able to follow him quite closely. And it's Fabio in 3rd. So we are gaining points as of right now over our championship challengers. But we make a big mistake into turn 8 that time around. 8 is one of the worst corners on this track. It just, for some reason, the bike always wants to step out on entry, so we can never get into the apex nicely. Through here, again, we take a lot of time out of the eye. We really pick it up through that sector. And into this final corner here, where pretty much most of my time comes, I am really strong here. And expect later in the race, if I need to make overtakes, that's the place I've done it. I've done it in the past in the Moto 2 days. I've made overtakes in there and Moto 3, so it's one of those hot spots for me where I'm just deadly on the brakes in there, and I can use it to my advantage. But Mir's pace is pretty hot. Full factory Suzuki in front of me is just gapping me a bit more than I'd want. But again, in here we should be pretty good on the brakes. But Mir, you see, takes a very early apex and drifts massively wide and comes back for... I wouldn't even call it a late apex because he misses the late apex. I take a late apex and he just goes way off track. But his pace is just good enough where he's just braking me for now. We're going to try and pull him back in, but we've got a bit stoppy into turn 4 there. And that is not ideal for such a fast piece of track. You want the bike steady. And turn 5 again, we're wide, out onto the green. That's going to be a track limits warning. No, I actually got away with that one. But Fabio is just there. It's actually Pecco now, so one of the Ducatis is getting in on the party, so I'll expect to see him show me a wheel in the next couple of corners, just as he has a look into turn 8, and we run massive away for 9. That leaves him through. We just filter back in front of Rins, and just underneath Fabio. We're going to try and squeeze him out and try and do him in the last corner if we can. We're going to go for it into the final corner, just like I predicted. We have better braking, but he actually managed to hold on, but we just fight our way through at the apex, side by side, small bit of contact between the two of us, but up to the line, 30.3. Mir has checked out. Pecco has pulled a bit of a gap as well on us since we were battling with Fabio, but just after losing touch with the front two, and such a long straight here, and the other straight is so long, you need a bit of slipstream if you want to pull him in, so definitely losing time to the front two. But into turn 3 we come. Again, the air takes such a weird line through there. We get a much better exit than Pecco. We're pretty much back with him. We've taken a good bit of time out of him. We're just sitting in the slipstream, just getting pulled along the straight. We pulled away again from Miller, who's behind, who's managed to pass Fabio and Rins. So Ducati power working really well here in Thailand. We're just a touch hot into 5, but we managed to square it off. We're making a good lap here. We are pulling in Pecco. Touching that curb there is a big no-no. You can easily lose the rear there in high side, but things aren't going too bad yet. I haven't made any massive mistakes. Again, just a touch wide through that corner. I have to really push through there because I feel like I'm so weak. But again, into 9, just can't get the bike turned as much as I'd like. So we're coming up now already to lap 4, nearly at half race distance. We'll flick the bike over. I love that bit of track there. It's the only bit of track I like, the last couple of corners. And then on the brakes, just hit the curb and acted with a bit of a kicker, and we really running in hot. But we're on for a very, very fast lap, and we go and set the fastest lap at 28.5. So we are motoring at the minute. But Miller is pretty much on my pace because he's closed down to 0.3 behind me, and he was over second at one point. So I expect, just like Francesco Baglioni in front of me, I expect to see him up my inside within a minute or two. And didn't see him there. I expect to see him there, kind of show me a wheel, but he didn't. But he actually lost a bit of time, so maybe a mistake. But again, coming up now to turn 4, and we were just sat in the slipstream. We just pulled out of it before the braking zone. And again, Pecco touching the curb, lose the front, lose the rear. The whole bike's on the slide. We go for a look up the inside. There's actually a bit of contact, but we are still there when he holds around the outside. I kind of give it back to him because the contact, I didn't want to push him out of the way, but a big mistake here, and we leave the door for Miller, and he comes out and just sits me up, and that has been out to P4, so we're off the podium. So we're going to have to work hard now to get back underneath Miller if we can. We're going to maybe try it in here. I wanted to just slip up the inside like that, run him really wide, and that's what we did. So we just pushed him off the race line, but he still has the inside, but we're going to just hold around the outside. And then as we come now into the final corner, we're going to have to brake pretty late just to defend from Miller. We're in quite hot, just turned in a bit too early there, and we touched the curb and we've gone down. Huge moment in this championship battle. We are out of the points already. That promotes Pecco into P4, so this could be the day the championship is decided. We are out. We are unfortunately not going to score any points. We ended up having to retire the bike. We had some damage, as well as the AI disappeared up the road. So a disaster, absolute disaster for me here in Thailand. We were on for possibly a podium, and we were beating the main man. Mir wins it, Miller ends up in second, and unfortunately for me, Pecco third, which means he pulls into 12 points off the lead. Now Fabio was P4, so slightly underperforming there maybe from him, so not too bad. So we're only 7 points off, but only 5 points behind me is Pecco. So we're going to the last 3 races with a bit of a 3-way fight going on. 3 different nationalities, 3 different riders, 3 different teams. It's all kicking off here. Fabio, Pecco and myself. And unfortunately for Zal, he crashed on the first lap, I believe, and he did not score anything that put him out of contention now for his championship. Hernandez coming home in a solid P8, so another decent enough race there for us. But yeah, just terribly disappointing in the championship for me. You can see 7 points now, but it's so tight at the top. 12 points between 3 riders with 3 races to go. It could go anyway. I don't know who's going to win this championship, but I really am looking forward to getting off the Suzuki. I'm pretty sick of it at this stage. It's just such a poor bike. And I did put a poll up the other day for next season, so we will be obviously signing for Ducati. It just is to determine which team, and currently from my knowledge the Ducati factory team is winning with the GP21 bike. I did also put up Sky VR46 and I'd run the Grazie Vale livery for the final season, but it looks like the factory Ducati one is winning. Also, if we did go to Sky, it would be a GP19, so we'd have the older bike. But anyway, I've rambled on for long enough in this episode. Another disappointing one, unfortunately. We've had some good runs in the last few, but it all came crashing down in this one, and we ended it on our backside. But anyway, I hope you all have enjoyed today's episode. If you did, drop a like down below and subscribe to see more, and I shall catch you all in the next one.